Hey everyone, and welcome back to another edition of Uncle Dan's Best Bets. Happy Friday. We are officially on to week 10 of the NFL regular season. Before we get into the picks and recapping last week, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. We really appreciate it as we try and get closer and closer to 20,000 subscribers. So we appreciate that. Recapping last week. Nothing pretty, but it's another winning week. Our sixth winning week out of 9. That's not bad. That's pretty good. 6 games over 500 for the season, 40, 34, and 1. We needed a bounce back after a terrible week 8, and we did just that. So as we look into this slate, smaller card, it'll probably be a smaller video. I also, obviously, whenever I post these videos, I also have an article up on buffaloplus.com. So I don't love this slate of games all that much, but I did find a 6-pack of plays that we will ride. And as I've tweeted out before, what if I just win all of them? What if? Hey, again, we're looking for our 7th winning week. 7th winning week is what we're going for this week. We will start with the Bills. -3.5. This game opened up as high as 9.5. It is now all the way down to 3.5. No Josh Allen, it seems like. No problem, right? Well, we kind of hope. Look, this is exactly the reason that the Bills signed Case Keenum. For moments like this, for that break glass in case of emergency moment, they would have not just a career backup, but a guy that has started 64 games in his career. This is not going to be too big of a game for Case Keenum. And I also don't believe in this revenge game. Like, you're playing your former team. Case even joked around about it that he's like, I've played my former team, tons of my former teams. He's like, that's part of the problem when you play for so many different teams. But the Vikings are a flawed 7-1 team. And the Bills should play with their hair on absolute fire. Minnesota is one of the worst NFL red zone defenses. They've allowed 80% of their red zone possessions end in touchdowns for their defense. The Vikings rank 22nd in opponent yards per play, 24th in opponent total QBR, and 27th in opponent passing yards per game. All of those stats, you don't have to be a guru to understand. They've lived a pretty charmed life. They've also faced 4 backup quarterbacks. This is probably going to be their 5th, but Case Keenum is probably going to be the best one they have faced out of all their backups. Good teams find ways to bounce back. The Bills did it earlier this year against Miami. They then went to Baltimore and got a win when they needed it. And then this is the big stat that really kind of swung me towards the Bills this week, because I still think the Bills, even without Jordan Poyer and Greg Rousseau, are still the better team. And I still believe they can win this game by a touchdown. Buffalo lost last week as a double-digit favorite, and teams coming off a loss as a double-digit favorite are covering 62% the following week over the last 20 seasons. They're embarrassed. They should be playing with their hair on fire. There's a new sense of refocus, and I think without Josh Allen, everybody rises and rallies around winning this game at home by a touchdown, something probably like 27 I can say being 27-20. That's kind of how I see this game playing out. All right, moving on to the rest of the slate. 5 more games to go. Of course, this game is going to be on the card. It's Giants -4.5. No question. I love the Giants. I love Brian Daboll, as we know on this channel. And as I've said before, good coaches getting extra time is a huge advantage. Not all buys are created equally. Some coaches, if they're not good, they don't take advantage of the extra time to prepare. Brian Daboll will 100% have a masterful game plan against a very bad Texans team. The Giants were coming off a brutal stretch of games where they had to travel from the West Coast down in Miami, or down to Jacksonville, a bunch of long traveling where they had kind of ridden this wave of emotion. I think it caught up to them in Seattle. They just kind of ran out of gas. The bye week gives them to collect their thoughts. The Texans ranked dead last against the run in the NFL. Saquon Barkley and Brian Daboll will run the ball down the Texans' throat. I think this is just a massive game. I think Saquon Barkley goes off. I don't think there's any question this is just a big game. As my cat Winston is getting into the garbage can. So anyway, next game, Titans -3.5 at home. Look, I think the Broncos win in London was more of a fluke than a trend. Tennessee has covered 6 straight games, are 5-0 against the spread against teams with losing records. And this is the one that really kind of swung it to me. Obviously, I love Mike Vrabel. Him coming off an emotional overtime loss in Kansas City. I don't think there's any. I think he rallies the troops back up. Denver is 6th worst in the NFL, allowing 4.9 yards per carry. Derrick Henry will have a massive day. I think they play bully ball against the Broncos. Defense good enough. If they're able to slow down Patrick Mahomes, I think they can slow down a very, very poor playing Russell Wilson. And as I said about Brian Daboll, where good coaches take advantage of buys and extra time, we have learned that Nathan Hackett is not a good coach. So I don't think he gets any advantage by having this time off, because I still think he's a poor coach with or without extra time. Couple of team totals that I really like for the next two. Bears team total over 25.5. Justin Fields has blown up the last 3 weeks. Chicago has finally let him run, roll out, move the pocket, which is what a lot of people have been waiting for them to do for quite some time, and it has produced. Detroit is allowing 29 points per game this season, while the Bears are averaging 33 a game in their last 3. I was tempted to go with the over for the game, but I'm afraid the Lions, for as bad as the Bears defense is, the Lions could also shoot themselves in the foot and turn the ball over a bunch. So I will take the Bears team total over 25.5. I will also take the Dolphins team total over 26.5. I love what the Dolphins have looked like with Mike McDaniel and with Tua in the lineup. I think they're a completely different team. The Browns' defense has been exposed by good offenses, and the Dolphins have that good offense. I don't think it's any stretch of the imagination to think that the Fish score 4 touchdowns at home and cover and hit their over of 26.5 points. And then finally, this one stinks. This is a hold your nose game. This is a hold your nose game, folks. Packers +4.5. The Packers stink, right? Right? Everybody's going to bet on the Cowboys, right? Not this guy. Not this guy. For the first time in Aaron Rodgers' career, he is a home underdog of more than 3 points. As a home underdog in his career, Aaron Rodgers is 5-1-1 against the spread. This is a spot where when everybody zigs, we zag. I hate this game, but I love it because I think so many people are going, the Cowboys have covered 6 straight. The Packers, we thought it was their last stand against the Lions. You can't buy the Packers any lower than what they are now. I think somehow they rally here and actually get the job done. Aaron Rodgers can't be this bad forever. At home, I like it. If this was in Dallas, this would be a different story. But I like the fact for the Packers that everybody's on the Cowboys. We will take the Packers in this one, in probably an ugly game. They may not win, but I don't see how Aaron Rodgers doesn't keep it within a field goal. So I will take the points with the Packers, Aaron Rodgers at home. It's ugly, but I'll take it. So those are the plays. Run through them again one more time real quickly. Bills -3.5. Giants -4.5. Titans -3. Bears team total over 25.5. Dolphins team total over 26.5. And the Packers +4.5. Smaller card than usual, but these are 6 that we really like. And hey, what if we just win all of the bets? We will keep in touch. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. I will catch you next Friday here on the Buffalo Plus YouTube channel with Uncle Dan's Best Bets. Best of luck this weekend.